I'm going to go and recon an area, see what it has that might support a particular course. That's one aspect.
What really happened to Cody Lundin? From Dual Survival. Cody Lundin is more than just a survivalist. He's a symbol of resilience, nature-based wisdom, and fierce independence. Born on March 15, 1967, in Prescott, Arizona. Cody grew up with a deep connection to the outdoors. His early life was shaped by the rugged landscape of the American Southwest, where he learned firsthand how to live simply, self-reliantly, and in harmony with nature. Raised by a military family, Cody often moved, but always found solace in wild spaces. Mountains, deserts, and forests became his true classrooms. After graduating from Prescott College with a degree in depth psychology and holistic health, Cody decided to dedicate his life to teaching others how to survive and thrive using natural means. He founded the Aboriginal Living Skills School in Arizona, where he trained students in primitive survival techniques, urban preparedness, and eco-living. Lundin lives completely off the grid in a self-designed, solar-powered home that reflects his philosophy: minimal impact, maximum sustainability. Cody rose to international fame as co-host of Discovery Channel's hit series Dual Survival, where his barefoot appearance, calm demeanor, and unorthodox techniques made him a fan favorite. Unlike other TV personalities, Cody didn't just play a role. He lived what he preached, whether trapping small game, making fire by friction, or purifying water from a cactus. His knowledge wasn't for show. It was the result of decades of living close to the earth. But beyond television, Cody's impact runs deeper. He is a respected author, educator, and advocate for environmental stewardship. His books, 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive and When All Hell Breaks Loose, are considered essential reading for survival enthusiasts and average people alike. Cody Lundin's life is a testament to what it means to live authentically, connected to nature, and empowered by knowledge. His teachings remind us that true security doesn't come from technology or convenience, but from awareness, skill, and respect for the earth. Cody Lundin's survival wisdom. Cody Lundin's survival philosophy is not just about making it through a crisis. It's a complete lifestyle rooted in ancient wisdom, personal responsibility, and a profound respect for the natural world. Unlike many modern survivalists who focus on weapons, gear, and worst-case scenarios, Lundin takes a radically different approach. Nature provides everything we need if we learn to listen, observe, and adapt. At the heart of Lundin's philosophy is simplicity. He believes that the less we depend on modern conveniences, the more control we have over our lives. That's why he lives in a completely off-grid, solar-powered home he designed himself, wearing no shoes even in winter and relying on rainwater and composting toilets. For Cody, this isn't extremism. It's freedom. It's a return to a way of life where survival is not about fear, but about understanding. Another key element of his philosophy is self-reliance through knowledge. Cody teaches that the most valuable survival tool is the human brain. He emphasizes the importance of psychological readiness, situational awareness, and inner calm in any emergency. His lessons combine primitive survival skills with urban preparedness, fire starting without matches, finding edible plants, insulating with natural materials, all to foster resilience in both wild and modern environments. Lundin also challenges the fear-based mindset that pervades survival culture. He doesn't teach people to be paranoid or aggressive, but to become more connected, grounded, and mindful. His books and courses advocate not only for survival, but also for sustainability and harmonious living. To him, surviving isn't enough. It's about thriving in any circumstance with dignity and minimal harm to the planet. Ultimately, Cody Lundin's philosophy is about empowerment. He wants people to realize that they don't need to rely on systems that can fail. Instead, they can reclaim their independence by learning forgotten skills, respecting the earth, and embracing the simplicity of what truly matters. Cody Lundin, from desert sage to survival star. When Cody Lundin stepped onto the screen in Discovery Channel's Dual Survival in 2010, he wasn't just another reality TV personality. He was a revelation. With his long blonde braids, barefoot approach, and calm, zen-like demeanor, he instantly stood out in a genre crowded with macho survivalists. Cody wasn't performing for the camera. He was being himself, a man who had spent decades living off the grid and mastering survival through simplicity, science, and spirit. Lundin's pairing with military-trained Dave Canterbury was intentionally dramatic. The show's premise, two men with opposing survival philosophies dropped into harsh environments, made for compelling television. Cody's barefoot walks through snow and swamps, his reliance on primitive tools, and his emotional awareness contrasted sharply with Canterbury's tactical, sometimes aggressive, style. Viewers were captivated not only by the survival challenges, but by the dynamic tension and respect between the two. What made Cody so compelling was his authenticity. He wasn't interested in dramatizing fear or glorifying danger. Instead, he calmly explained body thermoregulation, hydration techniques, or psychological stress in a way that educated millions. Viewers began to see survival not as panic-driven, but as a process of mindfulness and preparation. Cody made Dual Survival more than a show. It became a platform to share his lifelong philosophy with a global audience. However, fame came with challenges. Behind the scenes, tensions reportedly rose between Lundin and the production team over fabricated drama and safety concerns. Despite being a fan favorite, he was eventually let go from the show in 2014. But Cody never wavered in his integrity. He publicly spoke out against the show's direction, defending the truth of survival education over staged entertainment. In the end, Dual Survival may have introduced Cody Lundin to the world, but it didn't define him. He remains, at heart, a teacher committed to empowering people with knowledge, not fear. His time on the show simply amplified the message he had always lived by. Survival is about connection, not conquest. Cody Lundin's turbulent time on Dual Survival. When Dual Survival first launched, the show's concept was built on friction. Two men with vastly different survival styles working together in life or death scenarios. For Cody Lundin, this meant entering into a dynamic that was at odds with his philosophy. His first partner, Dave Canterbury, brought a militaristic, tactical approach, while Cody favored minimalist, earth-connected survival rooted in indigenous wisdom and decades of practical experience. From the very beginning, the contrast between them was both captivating and tense. Cody's calm, educational manner clashed with Dave's assertiveness. Behind the scenes, producers often encouraged this friction to create drama. Yet, as episodes progressed, what viewers saw as good TV began to wear on Cody, who valued authenticity and real education over scripted confrontations. Despite the tension, the partnership held for 2 seasons. But in 2011, Canterbury was let go, reportedly due to inaccuracies in his claimed military record. He was replaced by Joseph Tetty, a Special Forces veteran whose style was even more intense. The change only deepened the divide between philosophies. With Tetty, the show took on a more aggressive tone. Cody, known for walking barefoot even in snow, now found himself paired with someone who thrived on combat-oriented survival tactics. their clashing energies became difficult to manage. Teddy's confrontational style and the show's increased reliance on dramatic scenarios led to growing discomfort for Cody, who began to voice concerns about safety and the show's credibility. By 2014, tensions reached a breaking point. Cody was abruptly removed from the show, later revealing that his departure stemmed from serious disagreements with producers over fabricated scenes and his co-host's behavior. He maintained that dual survival was drifting away from its educational roots, and he refused to compromise his values. In hindsight, Cody's early clashes and shifting co-hosts weren't just TV drama. They reflected a deeper conflict between authentic survival education and entertainment sensationalism. For Cody, being real always mattered more than ratings. Behind the fallout, Cody Lundin and Joe Teddy's clash. For fans of dual survival, the contrast between Cody Lundin and Joe Teddy was obvious from the start, but few knew just how deep their animosity ran behind the scenes. What began as creative tension soon erupted into full-blown conflict that would ultimately lead to Cody's dramatic exit from the show. Cody, a calm, methodical survival instructor with a holistic approach to nature, had spent decades refining his philosophies based on indigenous traditions and environmental harmony. Joe Teddy, in stark contrast, was a former Special Forces operative whose worldview was shaped by combat and tactical precision. Their differences weren't just stylistic, they were foundational. Cody's emphasis on mindfulness clashed with Joe's adrenaline-fueled mindset. In interviews following his departure, Cody revealed that working with Teddy wasn't just unpleasant, it was dangerous. He alleged that Joe's unpredictable behavior during filming endangered both of their lives. According to Cody, there were multiple incidents where Joe acted recklessly with weapons, tools, or in physically demanding situations, ignoring safety protocols in favor of on-camera bravado. The show's producers, eager to capitalize on this friction, often pushed scenarios that heightened tension between the two. But for Cody, things went too far when Joe allegedly threatened him off camera. He recounted one incident where Joe became so aggressive that Cody feared for his personal safety. He reported these concerns to Discovery Channel and the production company, but says his warnings were dismissed. Cody also accused the show of misrepresenting him through creative editing. He claimed that scenes were manipulated to make him appear overly cautious or difficult, while Joe was framed as the heroic action man. This narrative distortion, combined with what Cody described as a toxic working environment, led him to take a stand. In 2014, just days before a new season aired, Discovery Channel quietly removed Cody from the series without a formal announcement. Fans were shocked. Cody later explained that he was fired for expressing his concerns too vocally, particularly about Joe's behavior and the ethical direction of the show. He filed complaints through legal channels and broke his silence to protect his reputation. Years later, some of Cody's claims gained indirect validation when Joe Teddy faced controversies of his own. Reports surfaced about his alleged violent tendencies and inflated military credentials. These revelations cast a shadow on the network's decision to side with Teddy during the conflict. For Cody Lundin, the experience was more than a professional rift. It was a moral battle. He stood by his principles, honesty, safety, and respect for the craft of survival. Though his departure from dual survival was painful, it underscored his integrity. Rather than compromise his values, he chose to walk away. Cody Lundin reveals reality TV's dark side. To fans of dual survival, Cody Lundin wasn't just another survivalist. He was the soul of the show. His barefoot presence, calm voice, and nature-based philosophy stood out in a genre often dominated by macho bravado. But in early 2014, without warning or explanation, Cody disappeared from the series. There were no on-air tributes, no farewell episodes, just silence. Viewers were left confused and concerned, and speculation ran wild. Behind the scenes, the story was far more dramatic. According to Cody, his sudden exit wasn't voluntary. He didn't walk away from the show. He was fired, and not just fired, but removed in what he described as a cowardly and deceitful manner. He found out he was off the show when Discovery Channel announced it publicly, before even contacting him directly. It was a shocking blow after 4 years of building the brand and bringing authenticity to dual survival. In a lengthy and passionate Facebook post following his dismissal, Cody revealed the deep rift that had grown between him and the network's producers. He accused the production team of creating unsafe working conditions and prioritizing drama over truth. He claimed they encouraged dangerous stunts, ignored his repeated concerns about co-host Joe Teddy's reckless behavior, and manipulated footage to portray him as weak or combative. More disturbingly, Cody alleged that the show deliberately misled viewers about his methods and credentials. As someone who spent decades studying indigenous survival techniques and teaching them in real life, he felt betrayed. They used my image, my reputation, and my ethics to sell something that, in the end, they didn't respect, he wrote. The final straw came when he says producers scripted a scenario that crossed a line, placing both his life and his values at risk. Cody refused to continue under those terms, leading to what he called a forced removal masked as a creative change. Fans rallied behind him. Thousands flooded the show's social media pages with demands for answers. They shared clips of Cody's most iconic moments, praised his integrity, and denounced the network's silence. For many, dual survival lost its heart when Cody left. Discovery Channel eventually replaced him with new co-hosts, but the dynamic was never the same. The unique balance between Cody's naturalistic wisdom and previous partners' military rigor was gone. Ratings declined, and the show never fully recovered its former cultural relevance. To this day, Cody remains outspoken about his experience, not out of bitterness, but out of principle. "This isn't just about me," he once stated. "It's about what we allow media to do with the truth." His removal, though abrupt and painful, became a defining moment in his legacy. It highlighted not just the perils of reality television, but the cost of integrity in a world driven by ratings. Cody Lundin takes Discovery to court. In the wake of his unceremonious dismissal from dual survival, Cody Lundin took on a new mission, not just to teach survival skills, but to expose the dangerous illusions behind reality television. As someone who dedicated his life to authenticity, harmony with nature, and ethical teaching, Cody couldn't sit silently while the media warped those values for ratings. According to Cody, the biggest lie in reality TV is its name, reality. He stated bluntly that what audiences saw on dual survival was often fabricated, exaggerated, or manipulated to increase drama. "You're not watching real survival," he once said. "You're watching producers trying to create a show that looks dangerous, even if it means putting people at real risk." Cody described scripted scenes, forced conflicts, and even dangerous retakes where safety protocols were ignored. While he advocated minimalism and calm problem solving, the network preferred chaos and confrontation. They wanted TV moments, not survival wisdom. And when he refused to play along, the cameras turned on him. One of the most disturbing aspects, according to Cody, was how production teams would edit footage to distort events. Entire narratives were reshaped in post-production. A thoughtful moment of silence might be cut to look like indecision. A conversation about safety could be re-edited into a petty argument. They didn't just cut scenes, Cody said. They cut away at the truth. He also highlighted the psychological toll it took. Being portrayed inaccurately, having his words twisted, and seeing his decades of knowledge reduced to entertainment left him deeply disillusioned. It's not just about being misunderstood, he shared. It's about being used. Cody's critique of reality TV goes beyond personal grievance. It's a warning to audiences. He urges viewers to question what they see, to understand that ratings drive content, not truth. If it bleeds, it leads, he remarked, referencing the media's hunger for drama over depth, even after dual survival. Cody continued to speak out at conferences, in interviews, and through his writings. He advocates for media literacy and transparency, reminding people that true survival isn't about fake danger. It's about real resilience, real humility, and respect for the natural world. Cody Lundin didn't just walk away from a show. He walked away from a machine designed to entertain at any cost. And by doing so, he preserved something far more valuable than fame: his integrity. Cody Lundin warns, survival TV isn't what it seems. After leaving dual survival under a cloud of controversy, Cody Lundin took the bold and rare step of suing the Discovery Channel and the show's production team. What began as a behind-the-scenes dispute over safety, ethics, and misrepresentation soon escalated into a public legal battle, one that would reveal the often hidden tensions between talent and television networks. In 2014, Cody filed a lawsuit against Discovery Communications and Original Media, the production company behind Dual Survival, alleging that his image had been distorted and his reputation harmed. He claimed that the producers knowingly edited footage to make him appear mentally unstable, irrational, and erratic, despite the fact that he had been the most experienced survival expert on the show. The lawsuit accused the network of intentional infliction of emotional distress, breach of contract, and defamation. One of the most striking points in the legal documents was Cody's assertion that the show placed him in dangerous situations for the sake of drama. And when he raised safety concerns, he was pushed out. Moreover, he revealed that scenes had been deceptively manipulated. For example, showing him talking to fire when, in reality, it was a humorous moment taken out of context. They twisted my image, Cody later said, and they did it for ratings. Cody's lawsuit was dismissed, but it galvanized supporters who saw him as a whistleblower against media distortion. His experience highlighted ethics sacrifice in entertainment. Cody Lundin, live simple, survive smarter. After his departure from dual survival, Cody Lundin didn't fade quietly into the background. Instead, he chose to use his platform to sound a powerful and urgent alarm: survival television, while often thrilling and entertaining, can also be dangerously deceptive. In a world where reality TV frequently blurs the line between fact and fiction, Lundin wants the public to understand that the stakes in survival are far too high to be treated like a game. From his perspective, many modern survival shows are more concerned with ratings than responsibility. According to Lundin, these programs often prioritize sensationalism over authenticity, staging danger, manipulating footage, and editing scenes in ways that misrepresent what true survival looks like. While this may make for dramatic television, it also creates a false impression of what it takes to endure the wilderness. And that, he argues, is not just misleading, it's potentially deadly. One of Lundin's chief concerns is how these shows can influence young or inexperienced viewers. People who watch a charismatic host walk barefoot across the desert or jump into icy water may assume these actions are safe, or worse, necessary in a survival scenario. What they don't see are the safety nets, reshoots, off-camera medical teams, or scripts that help manufacture these stunts for television. When viewers try to imitate what they see, unaware that much of it is choreographed or heavily edited, the results can be disastrous. Real-life injuries, or even fatalities, can occur when people are misled into thinking survival is simply about being brave, bold, or dramatic. Lundin has been particularly outspoken about what he calls reckless editing and staged danger. In interviews and public statements, he's condemned how shows like Dual Survival sometimes create false tension through clever camera angles or post-production tricks. Scenes might be made to look more dangerous than they actually were, or scenarios might be completely fabricated for the sake of excitement. For someone like Cody, who has built his career on integrity, experience, and respect for nature, this kind of media manipulation is not just unethical, but deeply offensive. He reminds people that survival is not a performance, it's a discipline. It requires patience, knowledge, preparation, and a deep awareness of one's surroundings. It's about staying calm under pressure, making smart choices, and understanding the environment, not running headfirst into danger for the thrill of it, by glamorizing survival in the wrong way. TV shows can create a culture where people misunderstand the risks and misjudge their own limits. Cody's message is simple but powerful. Don't confuse entertainment with reality. Television is produced to entertain, not to educate. If someone truly wants to learn how to survive in the wild or prepare for emergencies, they should turn to credible educators and real-life training programs, not reality TV. He urges viewers to question what they see on screen and to seek out instructors who are grounded in science, experience, and ethical teaching methods, even after stepping away from the spotlight. Cody Lundin continues to speak out. Through lectures, interviews, and his writing, he reminds the public that survival isn't glamorous. It's humbling. It demands respect, not ego. And above all, it's about safety, not showmanship. In a media landscape that often values spectacle over substance, Cody's voice remains a vital reminder that truth, especially in matters of life and death, must always come first. Cody Lundin's warning: don't trust survival TV. In the world of survival, where flashy gear and dramatic television stunts often take center stage, Cody Lundin stands apart as a quiet force of authenticity, integrity, and wisdom. While many first discovered him through the hit television series Dual Survival, Lundin's true impact stretches far beyond the screen. His influence within the global survivalist community runs deep, built not on celebrity, but on principle, passion, and purpose. As the founder of the Aboriginal Living Skills School in Prescott, Arizona, Cody Lundin has devoted decades of his life to teaching people how to live in harmony with the natural world. He didn't just teach survival, he lived it. Thousands of students from around the globe have passed through his courses, learning everything from primitive shelter building and fire making to water purification and long-term food strategies. Whether it's navigating the wilds of the Sonoran Desert or preparing for urban disaster scenarios, Lundin emphasizes practical, grounded skills that save lives. What sets Cody apart is not just the content of his teachings, but the philosophy behind them. While many so-called survival experts focus on short-term tactics or gear dependency, Lundin advocates for long-term self-reliance rooted in ancient wisdom and a deep respect for nature. His minimalist approach is not a gimmick. It's a reflection of his values. He often teaches and lives barefoot, a practice that shocks many but makes perfect sense within his worldview. To Cody, the closer one is to the earth, the more connected one becomes to their environment, and the better equipped they are to survive it. But Cody's barefoot lifestyle is just the surface. At the heart of his philosophy is an unwavering commitment to ethics. This is perhaps most evident in his decision to walk away from television when he felt the integrity of the message was being compromised. During his time on Dual Survival, he became known not just for his skills and calm demeanor, but for his insistence on doing things the right way, even when cameras were rolling, when asked to perform stunts that could endanger the crew or mislead viewers. Cody refused. In a world where reality TV often blurs the lines between entertainment and truth, his moral compass never wavered. It's that refusal to sacrifice safety or honesty for ratings that earned him the respect of survivalists around the world. Among them, Cody isn't just another TV personality. He's a standard bearer. His books, 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Ass Alive and When All Hell Breaks Loose, have become essential reading for anyone serious about survival. These aren't just how-to guides. They're educational manifestos that blend hard science, psychology, and hands-on skills with Cody's signature humor and no-nonsense attitude. 98.6 Degrees, for example, challenges one of the most common misconceptions in survival, that people die from starvation or wild animal attacks. In reality, most people in survival situations die from exposure, specifically from their core body temperature falling below 98.6 degrees Celsius. Cody uses this fact to drive home the importance of shelter, warmth, and proper clothing, emphasizing strategy over panic and knowledge over fear. In When All Hell Breaks Loose, Lundin turns his attention to urban survival, covering everything from pandemics to civil unrest with clarity and pragmatism. It's not a fear-mongering book. It's a practical roadmap for how to stay alive when society breaks down. And like all of Cody's work, it's grounded in a deep belief that preparedness is not paranoia. It's responsibility. Even after stepping away from mainstream media,